Hello, Galaxy! I'm Chris Perillo, and you've tuned into another live Star Wars Radar video. I'm here to talk about Easter eggs, the things that I picked up on, either in seeing The Last Jedi now twice. I thought I might have been able to see it again today, but that didn't happen, unfortunately. I don't know when I'm going to be able to see it again. It may not be until next year. That being said, I do want to do my review, my The Last Jedi review, live here with everybody over the next couple of days, possibly even over the weekend. And if I can get other people, possibly do a hangout to discuss what we felt about The Last Jedi, me and maybe another person who publishes content in and around Star Wars and is known for their Star Wars fandom. So stay tuned for that stuff. But today I wanted to talk about the things that I saw and or learned, starting with I said I'd do 3, but I may very well do more than 3. Behind me, by the way, is a chat. Discord chat. Star Wars Radar has a Discord chat that you can join. I'll be sharing that link forward in the Twitter feed after doing a poll. A few hundred of you said, yeah, you'd be interested in possibly joining a Star Wars Radar Discord chat group. It'll be open. I'm a little worried about leaving it open, especially in these controversial times. But that, by the way, that's Discord chat with a Porg behind us. The first thing I'll point out, Mark Hamill portrayed Dobbu Scay. And this is something I learned from White Boba Fett. That's the person's handle on social. He was asking, like, who was this? Because in the credits, Mark Hamill was credited for basically playing this character. If you remember the drunk patron on Canto Bight, who effectively, okay, I should say spoilers, but let's face it, if you haven't seen it, the movie, The Last Jedi, by now, man, you shouldn't be online. Certainly shouldn't be listening to me talk about Easter eggs in the movie. Anyway, the drunk patron who basically was inserting coins into BB-8 and then basically barfed on him, and then of course was later when the Farthiers were running and destroying the casino. He was basically in the coins going wee wee. That character Dobbu Scay was voiced by Mark Hamill. That is to my knowledge, and I had some rough confirmations from social. People suggest, more than one person suggested that was him. The second Easter egg that I wanted to point out, this is something that I saw on my first viewing. I'm not sure if everybody did, but at the beginning, after Luke tosses aside his lightsaber, I kind of wish Luke would have done it a different way. I wish he would have tossed it aside like he did in Return of the Jedi. I think that would have been pretty, chucked it like he did when he wasn't going to fight Vader anymore. But anyway, he tossed it over his shoulder. Whichever direction. When the Porg are playing with it, there's a Porg jumping up and down on the saber, and the other one's looking in, with an eye, looking in. If you remember, there was an image floating around from when Ben Kenobi basically hands over the hilt for the first time, and Luke's staring down the barrel. There have been, memes circulating with the blade ignited and, going through Luke's head if it ignited in that position. But anyway, so the Porg was kind of doing this, and I don't know, to me that hasn't been confirmed, but I'd say that's an Easter egg, right? The Porg's looking down the barrel that could ignite, right? I mean, it could have just been Ryan just being Ryan, but I want to say that's an Easter egg, calling a reference to this funny image that had circulated in fandom for years. But I only say that because I know another thing that I missed on the first viewing that I caught the second viewing. I couldn't figure out why people laughed when Rose and DJ, which, by the way, DJ, I learned this in the visual dictionary. DJ is short for don't join, which is appropriate. And that's exactly what it says in Orabesh on his hat. When DJ, Rose, and Finn were, in their first order uniforms, or getting dressed up and putting BB-8, underneath the garbage can, apparently the imagery, it looked like a spaceship was descending when in fact it was an iron. People laughed, but apparently I didn't see that from our position in the theater. We were really close to the screen, so I couldn't tell. But people laughed, and I couldn't figure out why they were laughing. Because the imagery, if you remember years ago, and I remember because I remember this playing, eons ago, Hardware Wars was pretty much the first Star Wars parody. You should watch it. It was great. You'll laugh. you'll cry. You'll kiss $3 goodbye, or something like that. $3, $5, whatever it was. Well, anyway, the imagery that made it in was apparently a reference to Hardware Wars, because one of the ships was an iron. And this was an iron, a press that was coming down, so it looked like it was a spaceship. A visual looked like it was a spaceship descending, and then it pans back, and it's actually an iron steaming closed, a bot. But anyway, that is actually an Easter egg. It is a reference to Hardware Wars. That is definitive. Another thing that I caught, so this is kind of a bonus, even though I'd said we'd do 3. Gareth Edwards was in it, and I caught this on the first viewing as well. You might remember on Crait. They're in the trench, and there's a guy that's holding a weapon, and he looks down, and he basically scrapes the salt, licks it, and he says, oh, it's salt. The person next to him is Gareth Edwards. I'm like, oh. I saw that the first time. I'm like, what? Oh, that's Gareth Edwards. That's pretty neat. There were a ton of cameos, apparently. I couldn't even list all the cameos that took place. So, I mean, I don't want to dig too deep into that. But I know there were, like, plenty of Easter eggs. These are ones that I just wrote down, the ones on off the top of my head. Han Sabak dice. I don't know if I would say that's necessarily an Easter egg. It's certainly interesting, and it played into the film as well. Which is someone actually mentioned this. And I couldn't figure it out either until I caught this, and potentially it was in an article. Speaking of dice, this isn't exactly an Easter egg, but you wonder, Leia, he handed the dice to Leia. And so obviously, Leia had these dice, right? Or at least the image of these dice. But then Kylo had them. So did Leia just abandon them? I mean, would she really abandon them and drop them? It seemed that, if they were sentimental, because there was a connection to the Falcon, and that was the reference point in Han, she wouldn't leave him behind. So then why would Leia leave him behind? What if she knew that Luke was projecting? Just think about that one. That one's deep. That one's deep. Yeah, we know about Billy Lord. Spaceballs, a great parody, one of the greatest parodies of all time, but I wouldn't say the first. Hardware Wars was around a lot longer than that. So yeah, there are other things that had been scattered about. I'm talking about not so much of the references that were made within Star Wars, because obviously there were things that we knew from within canon. I'm talking about things that aren't as readily apparent. That to me is an Easter egg. That's something that you wouldn't have known about otherwise, or it's just one of those neat little things that they kind of sneak into the film. And quite a few things that you could actually explore in the visual dictionary. I don't have it here right now because I left it downstairs. I read it cover to cover. To me, the visual dictionary is a must get with every movie release. Now I'm at the point in this particular live video, since I've talked through the topic at hand, where I want to show you some of the Star Wars things that I got. Today I found Star Wars Mashems, right? Mashems. These are new. This is Series 1. They've got 6 to collect. I don't know if I'm going to get all 6. The only one I'm hoping to get is Darth Vader, since I do focus on Darth Vader. He's impossible to get everything of, but I'm hoping that this is going to be a Darth... Aw, man. Ew. It's a gummy Yoda. It's very gummish. Like sticky, like a wacky wall walker. I mean, you can look, you can... Ew. Here, wait. Let me see if I can... I can squish his head, and then his ears stick and then pop out. Ooh, yeah, there's the visual dictionary. Okay, I wasn't really wanting Yoda. What are you supposed to do with it? You're just supposed to... I think you're just supposed to stick it. Okay, maybe I don't want to open the others. Ooh, this is... It doesn't feel good in the hand. It doesn't have a good hand feel. But I should move forward and still... can I look... There's holes in the bottom. I'm seeing if I can look through to find which one I got. I don't know if I can. Well, this one looks dark. Looks dark from here. Okay, we'll try another one. I'm not going to open every one of them that I got. I got enough to possibly get the full collection. If this is another Yoda, though. Oh, man, no, not a Yoda. I did see black. It's a Stormtrooper gummy thing. Really weird, dude. Weird. Why would they make... Do you stick them on things? Let me see. Oh, no, it's not sticky enough, but... Oh, yeah, it's going to get a lot of crud buildup on it. I don't know why these are released. I guess, they can do anything with with Star Wars and will buy it, or at least I will. The only other thing I was going to point out was that today, thanks to Yakface in social, I learned that the BB-8 playset was half off, and I ended up getting it 60% off because the box was damaged, and I wanted it because of a figure inside, or at least 2 figures inside. I don't care so much about the playset. That'll be delivered on Christmas to Jedi, but there are 3 variations, or I'm sorry, there should be about 4 variations of the Praetorian Guard, but only 3 variations available in figure form. The only way to get this particular figure with his weaponry is specifically in this playset. The other one's available in the 2-pack Toys R Us exclusive that comes with the Stormtrooper Executioner, which, by the way, that's not one character. The Executioner rotates. Something else that I learned in the visual dictionary. I do believe that Snoke is going to be released with a there's the Vibro. I can't remember the name of it. I should have grabbed the visual dictionary again. What's interesting about the weapons is that they have basically taken like traditional weapons and just electrified them, and that's what the Praetorian Guards get. I do want to say that Snoke is going to be released, whether it's this mold or not, or this one or not, as an individual carded figure. I'm not sure about the other ones. They'd be wise to keep these figures as exclusives, specifically for the particular playset, because of course it would get people to buy them specifically for the variation. So I finally have a Snoke, and I guess finally have this particular Praetorian Guard. And there are 8 of them, and I learned that because they're paired off just for symmetry, 4 on each side. And so now I will place this particular Praetorian Guard next to the other one, and then open the next one possibly tomorrow. Because I got to get through them, right? And then I've also got this little cannon thing that I got to hold on to for when... oh, yeah, and they're Force Link enabled. Let's see, does this have batteries in it? No, guess not. They are Force Link enabled with the blue on the bottom. So we'll see about the variations, or if they do release variations. Someone asked if I know if there's a Hondo 3.75-inch figure. There is from the old series, and I do believe Hasbro is going to be releasing a Hondo Onaka in the upcoming waves, in one of the upcoming waves. That's from memory. It may not be out until springtime, but I do believe an updated Hondo Onaka, an older one, assumedly that's found in Rebels, is coming. Another squishy thing. Kids like squishy things. Oh, there you go. Also, green blue milk that Luke drinks on the island, throwback to his weird milk colors. That's a throwback. It's not, but I actually do want to talk about that in a separate topic. I've got like another list going on of like parallels of Luke and Luke's character arc, and how certain elements were in his beginning story, or the beginning of his story as we knew it, and then of course the end of his story as we knew it in The Last Jedi. That'll be a topic for a different video. So thank you everybody for tuning in. More video topics to come. As I said, I've got plenty to get through, so expect a new video from me just about every weekday, and then potentially now on the weekends if I'm able to find other people to talk with about a lot of this stuff. Can't stop talking about Star Wars, so I kind of have to stop myself from talking about Star Wars. I mean for this moment, but join Discord chat. I'll be sending the link out, and of course potentially updating the video description as well. But keep following Star Wars Radar on Twitter at Star Wars Radar. That link's in the video description for sure. I love you. I appreciate you, and at this point I'm going to leave you to your own devices. May the Force